Honey,
To extend them. I know.
we're gonna start, we're gonna start.
Extend.
To waive the 30-day
I'm
waiting
doing
period.
both. Am I doing both? Wait,
Yeah.
days and approve?
Yeah, no objection.
Yeah.
How we always phrase it, no
Yeah.
objection.
Yeah, and no objection.
No objection to both.
Wait, okay,
Yeah.
wait 30 days and no objection.
Que no,
All right.
que no, que no.
You ready?
Recording. If we have a quorum, I can just do the attendance
Okay,
as necessary. Yes, sir.
let's just do it for the record. Did you?
It's right there.
Okay,
So physical.
perfect. Okay.
Showtime.
Is that right?
Everybody
Yep.
sit down, please.
Getting ready for the roll call vote? I mean, roll call attendance, sorry.
Okay, so present, we have Cynthia Rodriguez, Richard Reynoso, Veronica Castro, Hazel Mura, Harry Santaella. Remote is Edgar Aguirre. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Is Ryan Bartel here? Okay, he might be remote. Stephen Benitez. Patrizia is here. Junior Campbell present. Stacey Ann De Leon present. Isn't that working? Dr. Diallo might be online. If you're online, raise your hand so I can make you a co-host. Right now, everybody who's online is muted. They can't unmute themselves until we call upon them if they're in the gallery or an elected officials rep. Alex, I think Alex Ellison's present. Okay. April excused. Rabbi Fuchs, I saw. Yes. Ken Gelnick. He should be on his way. Wendy, I saw. D1 is online. Oh, he's in person? Okay, got him. Deborah here. David Levitt here. Kadera. Okay, here. Juan here. Jackie Lutnick here. Damaj. Okay. Naomi and Susan excused. Shrado. He should be on his way. Juanita Randall. Okay. Yes. Yes, thank you. Joanne Urbino's here. Oral Selkridge. Lisa Soto's excused. Dear Taylor. He's online. Great.
Yeah.
Joe Thompson. Sandra Unger. And Lisa Villal's here. Janice Walcott. Okay. Wayne's excused. Jeanette's here. Okay. Damaj. Yeah, I'm putting them in. Hold on. Oops. So that means we have 24, we need 20 for a quorum. We have 24 physical bodies here. I will turn this over to the chair of the board.
Good evening. The time is 7:08 on Thursday, February 27th, 2025. This is the full board meeting of Bronx Community Board 11, and meeting will now come to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone, please rise in a way that is meaningful to you for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence for our fallen first responders and medical and military service personnel, and for those suffering throughout the world. We'll move on to the reading of the statement.
Good evening, everybody. Community Board 11 meetings must be held in a professional, hostile-free environment. Following rules of conduct are applicable for members of the public, Community Board 11, and Community Board 11 staff members. Any action or behavior that disrupts and interferes with Community Board 11 business will not be tolerated during any Community Board 11 meeting and may result in individuals being asked to leave. If the action or behavior continues, this must be considered disturbing to the peace and appropriate. Authorities may be summoned if the meeting is held remotely. The person may be muted or expelled for the reminder. Repeated violations by the same person or group of people may result in further action by the community board. All speakers must address the full board or the community with their concerns. Electioneering for positions other than officer of Community Board 11 is prohibited. Engaging in any acts of violence, including threats or ground for immediate suspension of rights and attend meetings, pending review by the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. Respect the equality, diversity, and privacy of all persons by respecting and valuing differences of culture and opinion. Unpleasant and disparaging remarks, other actions, abstain from all forms of harassment by activity, discourage it, dismantling false information is prohibited.
Thank you. I hate this thing. Moving on to the gallery session. Speakers receive an initial 2 minutes of uninterrupted speaking time. Those registered in advance will be called upon in the order they registered. First person on the list, David Levitt.
I'm ready. My name is David and I'm a member of Community Board 11. I speak tonight about the proposed change to Article 8, Section 2, subsection 10 of our bylaws. Proposal is to relieve the district manager of an obligation to publish a monthly written report on actions taken at the district service cabinet meeting and issues affecting the community. The report is an important milestone for the district manager so that we know what he's doing and when he is doing it. The district manager has not posted a monthly written report to the board's website in over a year, and he rarely reports on his actions in detail on behalf of the community during his oral reports at full board meetings. I believe, as a member of the board, that I have a right to know what the district manager is doing on our behalf on a monthly basis. I also believe the elected officers of this board have an obligation to compel the report. I'm shocked at the proposal to remove this important obligation from the bylaws. I also think that this important obligation gives the district manager an important opportunity to showcase the actions he's taking every month on behalf of the community board. At the very least, this proposed rule change should be separated from the other proposed changes so that we can have a full discussion and a vote on the issue when and if it comes to the full board.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Mr. Robert Press.
Thank you. Mentioned at last week's leadership committee that I posted a falsehood by Community Board 11 Chair Cynthia Rodriguez. The item in question was posted on social media the way it was, not to embarrass the elected official who sent it to me. I was asked by Councilwoman Mamorato to apply to Community Board 11 and was told by the councilwoman she would try to have me placed on the board, as council members do and have done in the past. Here's a letter from August 6, 2023 I received with an email timestamp of 10:49 with the heading Community Board Application Status with a thank you, but I wasn't appointed to the Community Board. That was in 2023. On August 23rd, 2024, I received an email timestamped at 5:03 p.m. that was completely different because it said Community Board Appointment Letter with a body that did not apply to me. I tried to call the BP President's Community Board office, got a recording that the office was closed, call back Monday. I truly believed the councilwoman had got me appointed to the board, knowing that she still had open seats on the board. And that was why I posted just a thank you to a borough president with only the top, because I did not want to embarrass her. I now ask you, Chair Rodriguez, please retract your statement about me posting falsehood.
As this matter hasn't been finalized yet, I'm not going to go back and forth and relitigate the issue. We hear the issue at this point in time. If you'd like to have discussion of the definition of a word, we can do that separately, but this isn't the time. We have business to conduct, and this is really a waste of our time. We can discuss what the definition of falsehood is at a later date.
I truly believe that I was appointed, I'm answering her. I truly believe that I was appointed to the board because the councilwoman was pushing me and said she would try her best. And she said that there was a second round and she was going it. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but it's and I'm not going to say anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Ronnie Colangelo?
Good evening, Board. As you can see, we have a lot of questions about what goes on with the board. He has a problem, he has a problem, and you seem to say there's no problems. I was told at the last executive board meeting I went that the borough president was going to show up at one of the meetings. No show, didn't come to the last meeting. She'd rather be in Co-op City with 250 people she likes instead of coming here and dealing with this. She did come here one time and yelled at us that we're dysfunctional. So board members that have been thrown off the board tried to get rid of that problem. But again, they got thrown off and new people were put on because they got rid of her friend. Because, you know, he's such a wonderful person, leaves threatening messages, threatened me the other day, and there's witnesses in this room that were there when it happened. But that's okay, he's just almost a saint. So again, it's going down to what I say. It's Board 11, but it should be Community Board 11. And you all need to understand your responsibilities. You don't show up to the meetings during the month for any of these things, like the executive meeting the other day. No quorum. How do you even stay there and talk about what? Nothing? Or you try to make plans to set things up the way you want them, like Jeremy not having to make his paperwork, or have that 36-hour thing that keeps popping up and going away, popping up. You're just waiting for it to happen. They go, see, we voted for it, but you vote amongst yourselves at these little meetings. Then when you come here, you don't throw a full vote out, which I find pretty, I don't know, disheartening. So I think you need to get members on this board that will do the job instead of talking about doing the job. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Grace Marrero?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Grace Marrero, and I'm here to discuss or bring to your attention about certain board members that have no ethics and should not be on the board. For example, at the last Ethics Committee meeting, it was said by people that were, should I name names or what? All right, Debbie Kowalik said she was never notified about the meeting, which is false because in March of 2024, when I presented my complaint against her, I did it in front of the full board. So that was the first notice. The second time was in December when Naomi Pemberton announced that there would be an ethics committee meeting and that regarding my complaint and Robert Press's complaint that was going to take place in January. That's, if you go to YouTube and look at the full, the meeting then, you'll see that that's a verbal notice. So she was verbally notified.
Grace, I'm going to ask you just for 1 second to bear with me,
Mm-hmm.
because what you're discussing right now is going to be addressed later on in the agenda. I'm going to
Mhm.
ask you for patience, unless you absolutely have to finish your thought, that's fine.
I just
Um,
want to finish
go ahead.
my thought because
Go ahead.
because of the last ethics committee meeting in February, it was said that nobody was notified. That's a lie. That's not true because there's evidence that people were notified. So I've been coming to community board meetings for it's a good 10 years. And I'm very discouraged about things that are going on. I mean, I even offered a way out of the situation, and she didn't want to do that. So, I mean, we need to see who really has ethics on this board and who doesn't. And, I ask that you investigate these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Manny Martinez?
Good. All right, good evening, everyone. So the first program that I would like to promote for the Allison Library is that we have partnered up with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, where we're going to be doing a presentation with them on March 11th at 2 p.m. This is basically to look for common risk factors, how to spot warning signs in others, and to engage in conversation on how to prevent suicide. So that's one event we're having. The second one is that we've started up, actually today was the first one. We're doing a caregiver cafes. So these are basically we're giving a space for parents and caregivers to come together to talk about resources that are needed. And then from there, we'll develop topics for each month. The next one is going to be on Thursday, March 20th at 4 p.m. And this coincides with our NYPL after school program. So while the school-age children are getting kind of the help they need with homework, the parents could be in a room kind of discussing any resources that they may need or resources that are out there and available to them. So it's a space for adults to get together. And last but not least, we're doing a teen battle of the books. This is the manga edition, and basically we're collaborating with another branch. We're doing this virtually, and we're gonna have the teens kind of battle it out in regards to graphic novels, mangas specifically. And we're gonna be offering pizza. We're gonna be offering free books as well. So this is gonna be on Thursday, March 27th. From 3:30 to 5. And then we're doing another one on Wednesday, March 5th from 3:30 to 5. That'll be all.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you.
Diana Finch?
So at the leadership meeting last week, the ethics chair stated twice at minute 2719 and again at 4305 that the committee had processed 117 cases in 2 years. This sounded quite startling, and I knew it to be incorrect. So I'd like to clarify that the ethics chair simply misspoke during an intense discussion, mixing up the highest assigned case number with the number of cases processed. When I submitted my complaint about the Just Home public hearing so long ago in October 2022, the procedure described on the website said cases were to be assigned a number upon receipt, but it turned out there was no procedure for assigning numbers. So case reviews were put on hold until ethics had time to consult with the BP's office and fully revamp procedures for handling complaints, and they did a very thorough job. In January 2023, I received an email from the ethics chair stating that my case had been assigned as case number 102. Since that January, 17 cases have been processed by the committee, which were assigned case numbers 101 through 117. 10 cases, which is still a lot, were given a full review and are listed in the ethics committee agendas. 7 were judged by the committee not to have met the qualifications for review as reported by the ethics chair at full board meetings. So 17 cases processed, numbered 101 through 117. Thank you.
Thank you. Diana, just to respond to you, I am going to clarify that. The chair isn't here of the ethics committee, but I will try to clarify that. Okay, and I will do so publicly and accordingly. Angel, yes?
Good evening. quick, fast, so I get an extra 60 seconds. I'd appreciate you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank the board. I'm a recent server. I was serving on the board, and when I was on, we were going through a lot of trials and tribulations, and we have come through to the other side. So Veronica, shout for guiding us through that tumultuous time. Cynthia, thank you for stepping up and taking it. Harry, I see you. Like the whole board, I see y'all. I know we got, Daves and Bobbies and Robbies and everybody checking us, but that's what makes Community Board 11 so great, is that we're under a very scrutinous eye. Anyway, the season is the name of my nonprofit. On March 1st, which is this upcoming Saturday, I have a very big event coming up in the Eastchester Gardens projects. I have New York Botanical Gardens coming out, the Greater New York Black Nurses Association, Metro Plus, Catholic Charities. It's called the Spring Affair. We're going to be in Eastchester Gardens from 12 to 3. We're giving out monthly feminine products. I heard it's a big thing for women to keep their monthly products going on, to keep their hygiene up. So we're giving all that away. We're giving away products for seniors as far as what they need, the Depends and all of that. We're getting it cracking for them. So it's going to be a very big event. And I thank Community Board 11. Jeremy, thank you for your thankless job. I thank you for what you do. You the man in this here building. And, everybody come out March 1st. I appreciate y'all.
Jeanette has a question.
Did you bring flyers so that we can promote the event?
I do have one or two. I've spent the whole day canvassing the area today. I do have flyers, but again, Jeremy has one digital. I have a few physical. And again, thank y'all all for what y'all do. I see y'all.
Angel did send it to me, and I posted it on the Community Board 11 Facebook page. So if you want to go back and either share or save it, if you want an electronic one, you can do it that way, or I can send you the text I have. And Angel, thank you for all that you do, because I've been to a few of your events. The vibe is always awesome, and you are all about giving to the community with no self-interest whatsoever. So thank you. Roxanne Delgado.
I'd like a 30-second warning, please. So my understanding is that you would not be voting on these bylaws proposal because there was no quorum at the bylaws committee.
Correct.
Just to clarify that, thank you. I'd like to address also, the first speaker spoke about the manager report. I'm talking about the district service cabinet minutes is separate. None has been posted on the website since May 2024. When I spoken to Harriet, now she says she's trying to figure out because there was some kind of flooding in the office, they can't find any. But this is done on computer. So I'm not sure why you can't find any minutes. Lastly, no minute, there was over a year that you did not hold the district service cabinet minutes, meetings, over a year until I reported to the VP's office, and it resumed after a year. And my concern is that we don't know, as a community member, I don't know what conversation you're having with agencies, whether it's aligned with the community wishes or against the community wishes, as a proposal was submitted to FY26 capital budget, which was done without community input nor a full board vote. And lastly, even the treasury report, over a year, none was posted since October 2023. I've been asking for a year for those reports. Finally, some of them were posted, but they're still missing at 3 months. In your email, you said March 2024 is missing. Yes.
December and November 2024 were already on
Yes,
there.
but then
And
now,
all the other ones, as of this evening, have been
Okay,
posted
that-
to the
that was-
website. If you cannot see them, you need to,
No,
as
I-
Jeremy showed me, some people need to clear their browser
Yes.
history, and then you refresh it and you'll be
yeah,
able to see all of
I
them.
am computer literate, but as of
Okay.
2 days ago, October 23, two present was not posted except for those 3.
I stated as of this
Yes,
evening, they
understood.
are.
Just clarifying that. That took over almost 2 years now, almost 2 years. Just clarifying that. We need timely information. It's not just information that's valuable, but timely information. outdated information doesn't do us much good. I appreciate finally it being addressed, but it's very important for us to have timely information because it helps the community to be informed and to address issues presently, not go back 2 years later to see what's going on.
I understand that and I appreciate that.
All right.
And going forward, we'll make sure that it's up.
But I
at
just
when
wanted to ask an
submit it.
email request to this manager for years. I have dated since November 2023, asking for those treasures. He said, working on it. I just want this community board to follow procedures by your bylaws, your city charter, and do what you should be doing because it helps the community to be informed and have information to be a efficient advocate for the community. Thank you so much. All
Thank
right.
you, Roxanne.
Sure.
Miguel Dyer.
How do I go after that? I just wanted to say, actually, Mr. Colangelo took all of my talking points, and then Diana Finch also did. But I just want to make it clear, like facts are facts, okay? Falsehoods are falsehoods. And I feel like there's a lot of mixing these days when it comes to people redressing the board, and it simply is a waste of time. When it comes down to it is very clear that certain people were not appointed. It is very clear that certain things are certain people are not as well informed as they should be. And I think that to give that negativity the light of day is just ridiculous. I know it's very difficult because everybody should be able to come up here and say their piece. But I just think that at this point, it's gotten to the point of ridiculousness. And so thank you very much, and y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Irene Estrada.
Good evening. I'm here to address the board as a former community board member from way back when we were functional. I have been seeing a lot of videos that come to me, a lot of text messages and phone calls, and I see it for myself about the behavior of board members. You can go ahead and write up a whole survey, a whole document, a whole database on how we should act as community leaders, as we come to your meetings, as how we should speak to you with much elite glamour and be fabulous and be kind and cordial. But who's going to address the board members' behavior? I am a minister. And I want to know who is going to address the behavior of community board members who go around bullying our community. Does anybody want to raise your hand? I want to know. Because before I go to the news and send out all these videos, I'm here to tell you that enough is enough. When you take a look at Roxana and Grace and Ronnie, or anybody who's here, this is the backbone of our communities. When you disrespect one of these, you're disrespecting me. They're not by themselves. We have 180 members who live here in our district. Might not be able to come to a meeting, but let me call on them. When they come here to speak, respect them. When you see them in the street, don't bully them. Because if it comes to me, I'm going to go to the news. If it comes to me, there's going to be a protest. And I am asking, as a spiritual advisor, that I would like Debbie to resign from the Community Board 11 because she has been bullying our community for way too long and nothing has been done about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
If you'd leave your number with Harriet at the front, I'd like to speak with you offline.
Excuse me?
I give her the numbers. She don't talk.
Can Harry share your number with me? Okay. All right. Thank you, Irene. Kadara has a question for Irene.
Yeah, you have a question for me?
Hold on, Kadara. Let him turn on your mic.
My name is Kadara Lowe. I'm not sure if the question is for you or for the board, but when you speak, it's very vague. So I don't know if I missed the email about a complaint, because there's a lot of things going on in the background that the community is not necessarily privy to in terms of communications, but it's very vague. So as a community board member, for me to weigh in on an action or push an agenda or follow up or kind of have some context about what's going on and what's not, I need some clarity, and I don't know if that's something that you should be saying here in the forum, or if that's something that us as a board or the leadership of the board should be communicating this way, but I have no idea what this woman is talking about. And so for me to move contextually, or even come up some idea of solution, or just, I don't have that. And so I'm concerned about that, because this is just one individual of a couple of individuals who's complaining about bullying and this not going down and that not going down. And it seems a lot of the comments from the community seem to be focused on I guess administration and relationships versus community issue and policy, which we need to focus on to change. And I'm just trying to like balance here where the context is supposed to be coming from.
Do you want to respond?
Fun. When as a former board member, we always considered the representation is we represent our district. They come to to us for their concerns and their needs, or they think of anything that might be able to change. Perfect example, maybe you weren't a board member during that time. We were fighting a methadone clinic on Williamsbridge Road. We were not aware of it. Information came because I, as a board member, went to Community Board 11 to get the information that was never going to be given to our community, with the help of Roxanne and some of the people in our community. So what happens is that we have, during that time, yes. No, well, it's not
Okay,
only my,
hold
it's not only my
Let her
responsibility.
finish her thought.
So it's not that it's my responsibility, because I don't know if I was there still a member or not, but the point is that that information is important for us to know as a community so that we know what we're fighting. The cause is not the behavior of the board or the behavior of the community leaders. If we don't have a relationship that we cannot maintain and have a unified decision on what the causes and the problems are affecting our communities, there's not going to be change. Because if they can come here to give the board members our concerns and our issues and be disregarded, then the rest of the people that they're representing in their communities, in the buildings, they're not going to be heard. These are the people's voice. So as leaders, we are supposed to be listening before we take an advantage of not fixing anything. I sit down many times with Jeremy. I went to the board member, Community Board 11, when we did the town hall meeting with the methadone clinic. Had over 1,300 people come in the snowstorm. And let me tell you something. I had so much more garbage coming at me as a community leader for bringing everybody for that meeting. I even had our district manager come up to me where I'm sitting down and telling me, if you don't leave now, we're going to have you removed by the police. Did I ever tell anybody that in our board was ever aware of that? Never. But he knows it's the truth, because I am not going to lie about that. But I sat there during that meeting and I said, I brought these people in here. We're gonna fight this to the end. Because anytime these people come here to bring a complaint or to say that something has to be changed, you're not gonna fix the problem. You wanna fight them. So I'm giving you a perfect example even with the Just Homes. Nobody was going to tell Indian Village. I went to Jeremy and Harriet on Clothing Avenue, and I told them that this was going to happen. But I'm giving you a perfect example that the board does not want to listen to the people. And when the people take it out of their
Please.
I have no idea what she's talking about in terms of removal, so let's talk after the meeting.
is now closed. We'll move on to the elected officials. We'll start with the Bronx Borough President's Office.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's Kira Gannon. I want to just report a few things. I know it's already kind of running late. The applications for the community board is open. The deadline is March 9th. This is for new applicants and people up for reappointment. Again, year after year, we're looking at attendance. If people have attendance issues, we are going to be talking about it in our interviews. And there's a good chance you may not be reappointed. That's something across each of the 12 boards, and it's something that we're taking very seriously. I'm also working on a report on term limits. A lot of people have questions on when their term limit will hit. That should be coming in the next few weeks. So more to come on that. As I explained to some of your executive members today, we've been working hard with DCAS to bring trainings back to board members and to staff. If some of you remember, if you've been around a while, you used to have to get a special code from DCAS, work on a city computer, and it was just really a mess just to take a required training. As of today, I've shared all of your email addresses, so please be on the lookout over the next few weeks from something from DCAS or NYC City Learns, and we'll get those trainings back. And this is also going, I know Community Board 11 is always asking for trainings. This is also going to offer more than just what's required. So I think it's something that will help the board and answer a lot of your questions.
30
And
seconds.
oh, thanks. Lastly, we're working on a conflict resolution training, which I think CB11 has also wanted. So more to come on that. And that's all. So if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Mark Edis from Chrissy Marmorato's office.
Good evening, Chair, members. My name is Mark Nice. I'm the Director of Budget and Legislation for Councilwoman Marmorato. Thank you for being here this evening. I would like to start with the legislative update. Homeowners in our district raise serious concerns about the affordability of the new DSNY waste bin mandate. Today, Councilwoman Marmorato voted in City Hall to ensure this burden didn't fall on you and helped pass Intro 1126A, which states official NYC waste bins will now be provided at no cost to owners of 1 to 2 family homes required to use containers under DSNY rules if you are enrolled in the New York State School Tax Relief Program. I'm also happy to report that it is officially budget season. We've been working hard to make sure our nonprofits, schools, and other city agencies have the necessary resources to help our community thrive. Yesterday, we were honored to host the Department of Veteran Services in our district office. They assisted our veterans with accessing VA disability claims, pension claims, survivor benefits, state and local veteran benefits, as well as providing referrals via Vet Connect NYC for things like housing, financial assistance, SNAP food benefits, employment, legal assistance, mental health support, transportation, utility bills, etc. We had a great turnout and hope to be doing this once a month with DVS. We've been hosting free in-person tax prep services on Fridays from 9 to 5 with IRS certified tax preparers. They're qualified to prepare returns that include credits and deductions for public benefits, ensuring you receive every dollar of your tax refund. If you would like to sign up, please call 718-931-1721. There are flyers in the back for more information. As March, I'm excited to share some upcoming events we will be hosting in our community. On Saturday, March 8th from 9 to 5 p.m., in collaboration with American Italian Cancer Foundation, we invite you to a free mammogram screening. You must register in advance. I've left flyers in the back with more information on how to do so. On February 20th, we had planned on having Con Ed in our office, but due to a water main break, we have rescheduled. We'll follow up with more information. Thank you for all your work being part of our community. If you have questions or concerns, please feel free to stop by our office. Call us at 718-931-1721. Thank you. Good night.
Mark?
Yeah.
So Mark, thank you very much. I thank the councilwoman for that But this also came out of the sanitation committee, the request. We have been advocating. Oh, it's back on. We've been advocating for financial assistance for homeowners and building owners regarding councilwoman and thank her office for executing this. But this was also with the sanitation committee. Thank you.
I have a question as far as reimbursements. How does that, when will people be notified or how will they be notified?
Question. Thank you for asking. So DSNY has said they will be reimbursing anyone who purchased one of the bins in 2024 and 2025. They're still outgoing how they're going to go about reimbursing it. So to be
Determined.
Yeah,
Okay.
to be determined. So
Okay,
we'll
thank
be in
you.
touch about that.
Well, that covered Ken's also. Mine. Who is able to get the bin? Now, did you say anybody, or you said something about school taxing, or?
So you have to be a member of the STAR tax reimbursement program.
So it's only people in the STAR,
At the moment, yes.
but anybody that purchased it prior to now will get reimbursement whether they're in the STAR or not.
If they're in the STAR, they have to be registered.
So you'll only get reimbursement if you're in the STAR.
Yes. that is
And
correct.
going forward, you'll only get it.
Yeah.
And Nicole Aguila?
Honorable Office, Adolfo Felice's office, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicole Aguila, and I'm the Director of Constituent Services to Councilmember Oswald Feliz. I just wanted to provide a legislative update. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Committee on Mental Health, Disabilities, and Addiction, there will be a hearing for two bills. The first one is for 1169, which is for the safe collection and disposal of needles and syringes. The second will be for 0868, and this is for the prohibition of the distribution of hypodermic syringes and needles by mobile syringe service programs within 450 feet of schools and playgrounds. And if you would like to obtain more information on these bills that will be on the hearing tomorrow, you can please feel free to send an email to Guillermo Rodriguez, who is our Director of Legislative Department. His email is grodriguez@council.nyc.gov. And currently at the office, we do offer free tax prep services every Monday and Thursday by appointments only. So if you would like to obtain this service, you can call us at 718-842-8100 to schedule your tax prep appointment. We also have free immigration services with the attorney every Tuesday by appointments only. And if you're interested in receiving that information, you can also call us at 718-842-8100. Thank you for having me here and have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Kevon Bolt from Honorable Kevin Riley's office.
All right, hello everyone. Pardon the voice, I'm kind of sick right now. I just have a couple of community events and over the stuff going on in the office. So I'm gonna start with March 1st. We have our citizenship now event going on. That will be March 1st, starting at 10 to 2. at Lehman High School. That's 3000 East Tremont Avenue. To RCP or get more information on that, you can call 646-664-9400. Monday, March 3rd, we're going to be having our notice of property value and tax examination. That will be March 3rd, taking place at the YMCA. That will be from 1 to 4. Following that, March 19th at Grace Baptist, we're going to be having a homeowner information session to get more information on easement. It will be an easement workshop. March 6th, with Bronx and Chess, we're going to be having a energy service workshop, which will get more information on saving energy in your home. We also have our community cleanup March 29th. That will be taking place on Edson Avenue. That will be taking place on Edson Avenue and AD. And that's it for our community events. We also have constituent service stuff going on in the office. We're helping with tax prep. To make appointments, you can call our office. That's 718-684-5509. We have veterans advocacy projects in our office as well. And I guess that will be my time. Good night, everyone.
You feel better.
Feel better. Thank you. Nina Norwood from District Attorney Clark's office.
Community Board 11, thank you so much for having me. Nina Norwood, from District Attorney's Office. So I have a couple of community events that we have coming out of our office. The most recent event was just this past Tuesday on the 25th. We had a felony trial training program that we hosted at 98 East 161st Street, the DA building. We had over 100 community members apply to come to our office, and it was a full day event. So they participated in what's considered a mock jury. So that was the opportunity for the community to come out and sit with our ADAs and provide real-time feedback on their interactions with the community during their services, during trial, post-trial, and pre-trial procedures. So that was a really great event. So we also have a couple of more that are upcoming. The next one is going to be our next reentry event that's set for March 24th tentatively. So this reentry event, we had our last reentry event in January, which I did present to the board, and we had a great turnout for that as well, but that was for men and women. This upcoming reentry event is just going to be for women only. So we're going to be providing same thing, services, clothes, tabling, and provide them with all the resources needed for them to re-enter our community in the most productive way possible. So in April, we have our upcoming Child Safety Fair. So that's tentative for April 19th. And that also is going to be an all-day event. So that is going to be for, of course, families and children in our communities. We're going to provide tabling as well, resources. They're going to have bouncy houses, popcorn, entertainment, and opportunity for parents to get a lot of resources for that as well. And we also have our upcoming tentative May 17th is going to be our Youth Summit, which also is going to be an all-day event where we're going to be providing great resources for our youth. And as these events become available with the flyer, I'll definitely will make sure the board is up to date and given all flyers for our upcoming events. So if there is anything that you need and require from our office, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I don't know if anybody noticed, the people online, I'm plugging my ears because it's really loud. I did ask that they turn it down. Mark does not know how to do that. So if you're online, maybe if you're speaking louder than normal or you think you are, don't do that, please. Hearing loss, for what it's worth, is not natural. Okay, I have hearing loss in my right ear.
Next is Catherine Kinde from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's office.
Hello, good evening, CB11. Earlier this month, our office hosted a virtual Know Your Rights presentation with the Immigrant Defense Project to share information on people's rights when engaging with ICE. In case you missed it, please feel free to watch the full recording on our Facebook page at Rep AOC. There has been a lot of confusion around the federal funding freeze memo issued by the White House. Please reach out to our office if your org is having trouble accessing previously awarded federal funds. To stay informed about grant opportunities, please subscribe to our grants newsletter by emailing ny14grants@mail.house.gov. We are currently awaiting guidelines for the community project funding. Once they are available, you will receive updates through our newsletter. If you or anyone you know has a pending immigration case, you can check the status of your case online at egov.uscis.gov and contact our office with any delays or expedite requests. Additionally, we have updated our website with important tips and guidance to help you navigate the current immigration landscape. As a reminder, our office is here to help you with any issue pending before a federal agency.
Second.
Please note, due to recent policy changes from the White House, we are experiencing significant delays in response times from federal agencies. You can give us a call at 718-662-5970. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Alvaro Mundaca from Senator Rivera's office.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alvaro Mundaca, Community Affairs Representative from Senator Rivera's office. A quick update of some community events we had. We celebrated Black History Month with an R&B soul night at Tracy Towers, and also hosted a rent freeze and homeowners tax breaks screening day in collaboration with POTS and the DOF. As every month, our office will host free housing and immigration assistance. To make an appointment, please call our office, 718-933-2034. And due to the recent escalation in immigration rates by ICE, our office has created a Know Your Rights phone card to keep New Yorkers informed about the rights and constitutional protections. If you or your organization or school would like to receive these cards, you can fill the form, checking the link that is posted in the Senator's social media accounts, or call to our office at 718-933-2034 for more information. There are some cards at the desk, so if you want more, please reach out to our office. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Dioris from Senator Fernandez's office. Dioris, you can unmute. We'll circle back. Rachel Ali from Jamal Bailey's office. Senator Bailey.
Hello, I'm Rachel from Senator Jamal T. Bailey's office. We have a Black History Month event tomorrow from 4 to 6. The flyer is on the table if you want more information, but it'll be in Mount Vernon. And then next week, Thursday, we'll have a Women's Herstory panel. It's also from, that's at the Northeast Bronx YMCA. The flyer is also on the table, and if you have any other questions for our office, I'll be handing out my business cards for anyone who asks, and also leaving it on the table. So thank you.
Thank you. Back to Dioris.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I do apologize for that. And thank you so much for having me. And I do apologize for your right ear, sir. But thank you so much for having me. Again, I apologize for not being there in person. I have been assigned as a new scheduler for the senator. She does have a few information. She just actually passed and sponsored a bill banning any toxic chemicals from any women's menstrual products. Of course, she is a champion for women, and she has done that so far. We do have some events going on within our office. As the unclaimed funds, we have a representative from the controller's office every Wednesday to fill out any applications for those unclaimed funds. So please be sure to reach out to our office in regards to that, as well as the mayor actually passed a small business services fund for $75 million. So we do encourage all small businesses to look on the website and file for that, as the mayor has just passed. Thank you so much. We want to reiterate, there's applications for Bronx Pre-K. The applications are due by tomorrow. Anyone filing for that, please be sure to apply for that by tomorrow. And the Department of Social Services is also offering to pay it off for any non-custodial parents who owe any child support debt to pay $500 or more. So be sure to reach out to our offices if you're a non-custodial parent that owe any child support, so we can assist with that. Again, thank you so much for the board and Ms. Cynthia and everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Evan from Assemblymember Zaccaro's office. No, he's the last one. Evan, you can unmute.
Yes, sorry. I had to unmute myself. I do apologize. Thank you, everybody. My name is Evan. I'm with Assemblymember John Zaccaro's office. We're very excited to let you know that this February 28th, tomorrow at Zimmerman Playground, we'll be hosting a free food giveaway. Our office is also continuing to hold free tax prep services for the community. This service is by appointment only. It takes place every Thursday until April 10th. Please call us 718-409-0109 to book your appointment today. Our office will also be at the Bronx Islamic Center on Friday, March 14th. This will be for a free giveaway for the Ramadan holiday. Come by and meet some of your neighbors. Please save the date for April 5th. This is for one of two Easter egg hunt events our office will be holding. The April 5th event will be held in the Pelham Parkway area by our office. You could see us or stay tuned for more details. The Assemblymember is hard at work up in Albany. He recently introduced a Reform 1, which will restrict cannabis storefronts and premises from being located within 500 feet from child daycare centers, public parks and playgrounds, and specific schools and houses of worship located in mixed-use buildings. Additionally, he introduced legislation that would elevate an assault on a physician, providing direct patient care to a felony. If you would like to hear more about bills that he has co-sponsored, please give us a call, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Evan. Joe, I didn't have you on my list. So next is Joe McManus, Richie Torres's office.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joseph McManus, representing Congressman Torres. Just a little report this week, Congress. Republicans voted on a budget resolution that proposes cutting up to $880 billion for Medicare, threatening health care for about 40% of the people in our district in NY15. Also, that cut will affect the Affordable Care Act and increase their premiums on the average 28%, with some households as high as 105. Congressman Torres remains firm. He will not support any bill that cuts Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, or any other essential safety programs Bronx residents depend on. In addition, our office is monitoring federal funding to ensure that city agencies and organizations in New York 15 are not impacted by the funding freezes. At this time, no federal funds allocated to our district have been clawed back or frozen by the administration, of course, with the help of the courts. But if you're aware of any frozen federal funds affecting any local program, please let us know. The other thing is a report I put on some of the tables. Con Edison, it came to the congressman's attention that in the Bronx with Con Edison, people pay at least 3 times the amount of people that pay in Queens for their gas delivery. So the other thing that caught his attention was that Con Edison wanted to have rate hikes as much as 11.5% for electricity and 13.5% for gas delivery. So on that paperwork, on the last page, there's 800 numbers. If you have a problem with your bill, you think it's incorrect, there's another number there. If you can't pay your bill, maybe you need help. And the last one is the opinion line. It's an 800 number. And if you'd like to speak against the rate increases, that's the number to call. Also, if you need any help with any other thing, any federal thing, I gave a lot of people my business cards, but if you need something, you can always contact Jeremy and he can get me. Thank you very much.
We have a question for you, Joe.
Real quick, thank you for the information. It's very helpful. Given that Con Ed's a monopoly,
Con Edison is not a monopoly. Con Edison is an entity controlled by the state. The State Public Service Commission, they're the ones that do the rate increases. So, I mean, you could say it's a monopoly. Monopoly has no oversight. The State Public Service Commission and the state of New York has oversight over Con Edison and any utility company in New York State.
thank you. Is a plan to do legislation or go through the courts?
The plan is that people complain.
Okay.
If people complain, enough people complain, you call up the hotline.
Okay.
You register your complaint. You're against it because you think the inflation is too much. You're on Social Security or you're on a small income, or it's, why are we paying 3 times the price of Queens? It's the same type of utility. It's only gas delivery.
Hello, now it's on. Hey, Joe, how are you? So I know what you're saying, it's not a monopoly, but even in this letter here, it says, since Con Ed has a state-sanctioned monopoly on gas distribution.
Yeah,
Right.
monopoly has no maybe that's incorrect.
Well, it's on
All right,
rigid
all right,
process.
it's incorrect. What, you know it for a fact, Oral, that the Public Service Commission controls all the utilities.
Right, but they have a monopoly on the distribution though of the gas in the
That-
Bronx and.
But
and
if the
in-
people, like he was saying, Richard was saying, if the people complain enough, if they
Right.
complain constantly to a monopoly, they give you the middle finger.
You're right.
If you complain to the Public Service Commission,
Okay.
That's an avenue. Monopoly is,
No, I think Richard's saying that they're monopoly in the Bronx because they distribute to the Bronx only. Like some other areas get.
Bronx and Westchester.
Some of the places get the national grid. Con Ed to the Bronx and
like I
Manhattan.
said, was this true monopoly? There would be no Public Service Commission. There would be no redress. There would be no elected officials being able to pass a law to control them.
Okay, so the best way to go is to what you just said, to approach it that way, right? Okay.
People have the power. If they want to complain, they have more power than most elected officials.
Hi, thank you, and I will be calling. Are there any other political officials that are signing on to this, that is assisting the senator with
Are you
this?
talking?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, not the
couldn't
senator,
see
but
who was,
Congressman.
I couldn't, I'm sorry. I was-
Are there, I said, I'm gonna be definitely calling, but is there any other political officials signing on to assist the congressman in with this?
Not as far as I know.
That's interesting. Okay.
I mean, it could be.
Well,
but
they
it's-
should.
It's a report. It was in the Post. I mean, yeah, it was in the Post. He did a few different talks about it. He had a press conference about it. He was going berserk. He's saying they're charging 3 times the price, and the people in the Bronx you know, it was always said it's the poorest congressional district in the United States.
And I hate that
So,
narrative.
Yeah, well, it's.
I hate that narrative. Well, let me just
So,
say
I
this.
mean, so he's always looking out for his constituents, how to help. And this is one thing that the public can help.
No, and I agree. And let me just say this for the record. In my 2 years of being on this board, I'm thankful of have many political reps that I see this evening, because normally that's not the case. So for all the Bronx political officials that are listed on our agenda, please take notice, because your residents need your assistance and you need to back the congressman on this.
Well, he did send a letter to the governor also complaining about it, but that's as much as he does. Well, that's what they're supposed to do.
All right, so the final,
You guys already owe me $15. Fine. Come on.
no, so I just,
Who buys the money?
no, last comment, I'm for.
Cash
We're done.
only.
So once again.
Are you
I
asking
want-
a question? I'd
No.
like to look at the person. I was confused before. I'm sorry. Okay, Cynthia. All right.
So just for everyone who's here, as Wendy stated, put pressure on our locals and use that opinion line to try to make your voices heard. Otherwise, nothing gets done if we don't speak up.
Well, that's why I passed it out
Yes,
as much
thank
as,
you.
and there's some other, I put other copies over there. All right?
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Bye.
Moving on to the chair's report. Just a reminder that we did pretty much reach a consensus. Discussion of motions on the agenda are limited to at most 4 questions or comments by board members. So next is motion to remove Francis Benitez from Community Board 11 for non-attendance. Well, it came, yeah, we don't have to second. It came out of committee. So is there any discussion on the issue? All right, so then we'll move on to the vote. Are there any objections? Motion passes. Now, moving on to public hearings, one is as of late, and Ryan, I welcome you to kind of jump in.
You wanted my input?
Yes.
You wanted my input on this, or you just wanted me to stay silent?
I mean, the committee already, I mean, the board already voted. We're gonna move on.
It's up to you. I already told you guys what my situation was, and you guys ignored it, so.
Thank you. It's not, you just mute. All right, public hearings. So Ryan, do you want to begin?
Thanks. So regarding public hearings, there's been some back and forth, and this hasn't been officially voted on by bylaws, but it was mentioned in the gallery session a couple of times about whether we should register to speak for the gallery in advance or be able to speak in person. And when we're talking about speaking in the gallery at the full board or speaking in the gallery at a committee meeting, what we really need to be doing is speaking to issues that are before the board or that are relevant to the particular committee. For the full board, it should be issues that are on the agenda today. And if it's a committee issue, it should be something that is relevant to that committee. And then if it's not addressed there, you can bring it to the full board. The concerns that were brought up by multiple residents, multiple community members and board members, I think are important. People do need a space where they can come in and they can speak ad hoc. But that's really a public hearing is what that should be for. Now, as a board, we're required to hold a public hearing by the charter. We're required to hold a public hearing every month. We have not been doing that, and we should do that. In the past, I'm told that we used to do that before full board meetings, and that would be a time where people could come in and you can speak on issues that relate to your perception of the board and our conduct, on issues that relate to things that are not on the board or that you don't know where they belong in a committee, or on whatever you need to speak on. But I think that the more appropriate place to bring most of those concerns that were brought up at the bylaws meeting and a lot of the things that were brought up in the gallery session today would be a public hearing. And I think that we need, both legally, we should be doing that, but that's also a better place to address this particular concern.
Would anyone like to say anything? Any discussion? Joanne, Debbie? Nope.
It's on. Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm Joanne Rubino. It's a great idea because are you saying public hearings at our meeting, at our board, full board? That's a great idea. Thing is, I always thought public hearings were on one issue. So would it not be on one issue, it would be on whatever issue the public wants to speak about. It could be 10 different issues. That's the question I have.
So no, so it has to be a specific issue for it to comply with the charter. And the only time where we need a quorum for a public hearing is for a ULURP application. We got one today, which I did send to the land use chairs. So it doesn't have to be, it can be virtual. right?
Okay.
So keep that in mind. I know some people like that option.
Well, I'm talking about if we have it at our meeting, you know, like tonight, it would have to be one issue on, say, housing or whatever. But so if there is an individual who wants to speak on something that just came up the day before and they really need to be heard, how would that be handled?
Committee or refer them to a
Well, I mean,
proper meeting.
Unlike, say, tonight, okay? Like somebody wanted to speak to about an issue tonight because it just came up. They just became aware of it.
These slips, right?
Okay, the slips are still there. Okay, very good. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I was gonna say that public hearings are one topic type of thing, like, just the other day when they had the Bally's thing over in CBN, they had posted a public hearing. It was a one topic thing. We had a public hearing one time way back when we had the bike lane coming. It was a one topic agenda. So it isn't, like Joanne said, it isn't for this data of public hearings.
So yes, both of your points are taken and understood. I think the idea of a public hearing is it's something we can do before, let's say, a half hour before the board meeting starts, or the first half hour of the meeting, on a specific topic. But that doesn't eliminate the gallery session because we still have to have a gallery session anyway. But I think that Ryan's idea is, you know, it kind of reduces some of the what's the word, bottleneck, I guess, for lack of a better word. Who is next? Sandy?
About setting a time limit because you could go on a public hearing for hours. So we would have to say for a half hour before we begin the regular session. And that would make sense because everyone is here and we don't always begin our regular meeting until we get a quorum. So it makes sense.
And the upside to the public hearings, Jeremy said, is that the quorum requirement is lifted off our shoulders at least
Right,
for
and
that
we're waiting for the
point in
people to
time.
come in and then we get the quorum and begin.
Yeah, so those are details that we can, you know, we can flesh those out a little later, but I think it's something for us to really kind of have as our North Star. Juan, did you want to say something? Okay, all right, thank you. All right, moving on to the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. I've thought long and hard on what's happened in the last couple of months with respect to our two most recent cases. And I have heard from a lot of people on all sides of the fence, within the board, outside the board. And the one thing that has kept coming back to me has been the issue of procedure. Procedure, procedure, procedure. And I know that, you know, the Ethics Committee has a particular procedure in place. It's had a procedure in place for X amount of time. But one thing that we always have to remember is that things are fluid and things can change. And as such, we have to adapt and adjust fire as situations come up. For that reason, I am making a motion this evening that cases 116 and 117 go back to the Ethics Committee and be heard de novo. In other words, fresh start. In the meantime, we have to really nail down the procedure and clarify it and make sure that we are following it correctly. Do I have a second? Seconded by Wendy. Any discussion? Jeanette?
I would simply like to say, as co-chair of the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee, I am someone who repeatedly has asked that procedure be followed, and if procedure needs to be changed, that it be changed so that we know what we're following. So I totally am in support of this motion.
Anyone else? Okay. Before we vote, I do want to say again, you know, the Ethics Committee has done an enormous job with whatever it started with, its current procedures. You know, this isn't to disparage anyone's work or imply that, you know, that it's ineffective or whatever. But I think it's time that we kind of nail things down, close the holes, close the gaps, and, you know, fix it. So, yes, Rich.
I ask folks to please join the Ethics Committee. I think in the last couple of weeks, it's been a little frustrating from where we sit for folks to have so many opinions. But if you want to be part of change, join the committee. There's a lot of it's on the outside. Well, I wish this happened. I wish that happened. Then come and join the committee. Just ask Cynthia. Be part of change. That's all. I mean, because it's been a little chaotic for us the last couple of weeks when folks talking from the outside, when I think everyone has equal input to join the committee and make change. So that's it for me.
All right, so moving on to a vote. Is there any objection? Any abstention? Okay, there'll be abstains. Jeanette and Rich abstain. Yep. 3 abstentions. Did I cover everything? Stacy, did you abstain? Stacy's abstaining. Okay. Kadara. All right. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to the treasurer's report.
It's going to be quick. At the last leadership committee meeting, Ms. Delgado brought to my attention that there were several treasury reports that had not been uploaded to the website. This evening, with Jeremy's help, we made sure that all of them, including February's treasurer's report, is now up on the website. Going forward, I will work with the staff to make sure that the treasurer's report is up by the meeting or shortly thereafter if there are any delays in me receiving the information from the city governments. But otherwise, if you have any questions when you review them, please let me know. Sorry.
Thank you. So we're, hopefully everybody reviewed January's minutes have been posted. So I'm gonna make a motion to accept the January 2025 full board minutes. Okay, second by Richard. Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Any objections? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you very much.
All right. So, certain people have questions about what I do day to day. I think most of you know that I do something for this board every single day of my life, right? Within the past week, I've been in touch with Dimaj, Juan, Debbie. I did reach out to Ken, didn't get in touch with him, but Harriet did today. Joanne, Pat, Lisa, Alex, not you two guys, but I do miss you. Oral, the whole executive board. Wendy, if I didn't get in touch with her, I did reach out to her more than once. Jeanette, Ryan, Sandy. No, sorry, ladies. And Rabbi. And Dear, who's online. So, there's a question about a monthly written report. I recommend we take that to the bylaws and hash that out there. I will tell you that the only time this report has seemed to have mattered is when it wants to be used against me. I don't think tonight is any different. I will refer to you to my May 2019 district manager's report, which the city attempted to use against me during my discrimination complaint, EEO discrimination complaint. I don't want to waste your time with how they did that or how they tried to do that, let alone other things that were done during that hearing, falsehoods that were perpetrated. But real briefly, I will tell you that, Harriet attended the last bylaws. Even though we weren't supposed to have a meeting, we didn't have a quorum, we did talk about full board meeting minutes, right? If I'm not involved with full board meeting minutes, they don't seem to get published. Committee meeting minutes, the only ones we have up right now, the only ones I was able to work on were community development. Sometimes you guys need me to help you set up. I mean, I live stream every single meeting, right? I personally live stream every single meeting for the board. I do even here, even though we have Mark here, I have to set up the live stream. And on Monday night, in addition to helping set up health and bylaws committee meetings, I was attending the first CAB meeting for the Blondell Avenue shelter, or at least I was trying to. I did ask Harriet to draft something about that meeting, what I was able to garner and retain. She did send me a draft, but I just simply have not had time yet to send it out to the board. But my advice is to any of you, let's start with the board members. I mean, we do members of the public too, but if you have questions about what I do on a daily basis, I don't know why you need to do it publicly to start. I think you could start by asking me privately, or ask any of these people I named today. What have I talked to them about? What have I helped them with? Was it simply a question because they're a new board member and they don't know from A to Z? As most of you know, I tell you, talk to your fellow board members, right? Veronica and I sat down doing treasurer reports. I showed her, and I would be happy to show other board members, the red tape I have to go through to publish documents online. Veronica, you can vouch for me that it's approval after approval after approval after approval. It's insane almost, but it's part of what I do. Cynthia and I, we went to an event earlier at the Morris Park Library with Governor Hochul. I had a meeting with an elected official at their request earlier today. I'm sure there's so many more things I could tell you about what I do and what I've done for this board. But I just don't have too much time right now, let alone bandwidth. So thank you, everybody. If you have questions, can we please save it for after the meeting?
Thank you. Moving on to leadership.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeremy, for that. At leadership, we discussed ethics and disciplinary cases. Now we have a motion, so we're going to bring it back to ethics next month. Couple of things I think are forthcoming for next month's meeting. I'm doing a preview of next month. I think we're going to talk about the online structure that we have going on here with the community board and attendance. That's, I think, something we're going to discuss. And also remember what the Bronx Borough President's Office mentioned about the applications for the community board. That's due March 9th, right? March 9th. So if you want to be on this side, please apply. And that's it for leadership. For housing, We have a motion that came out of the subcommittee. It's motion to request funding from elected officials for fire extinguisher and smoke alarm giveaways. I don't need a second because it was passed at housing. Any discussion? None. Anyone opposed? Hearing none. Any abstentions? Okay. The motion passes. So we'll get this letter out to you, Jeremy, ASAP, so we can get some help from the elected officials. Thank you.
Parks and Recreation.
We had a presentation by the parks and the mayor's office and the people that are gonna be redoing the skate park over by Allerton. So we have the motion to send a letter of support regarding the design for the Bronx Park Skate Park project. Is there any discussion? Any abstention? One abstention.
My daughter works for the Parks Department.
So Ken abstained.
So Ken abstained.
And Oral abstained.
Abstained. Any objection? Motion passes.
So Debbie, I'm just gonna remind if you can have a conversation with Janice and the rest of the committee so we can get a draft of that, to Jeremy ASAP. Thank you.
Okay.
Bylaws.
The bylaws could not meet. We had an agenda, but because we could not get a quorum, we could not meet. I am happy to add that someone asked to be put on the bylaws committee, and I think, Cynthia, you agree to it. So now we have 5 members altogether, and hopefully we will have a quorum.
I had a conversation with Veronica. Nothing's official yet. I'll let you know in the next day or two.
All right, then we could have a.
Yes.
Thank you.
Community development, budgetary priorities.
Do you want to do it, Wendy, or you want me to? As we've been doing, community development and budget priorities met jointly, and we met this month with land use and sanitation, environmental protection. We had a good discussion, talked about some things that can be added to both our budgetary requests and updated in our district need statement for next year. That's really all I have.
Want to add just one thing. Our next meeting that we're going to have, which is, I believe, March 18th, we're going to have a presentation by Montefiore. And then April's meeting will be a presentation by Nate from DCP. So I know that during our meeting, early in the month, I had mentioned that Nate was going to be at our March meeting, but it's not Nate. Nate is going to actually come to our April, and Montefiore is going to present at our March meeting.
Where's Sandy? Oh. Joanne wasn't there. All right, we'll circle back to health, economic development.
Hello? So there's no report from economic development, except that on new business, we're going to bring up the issue of Pasta Pasta and their application to renew their liquor license.
Education, culture, and youth services, Alex?
So at our committee meeting, we discussed the Youth Leadership Award, which the committee is in charge of reviewing applications for that and how to get the word out, and encourage people to apply. And since then, we've been reaching out to local schools, elected officials, and community groups, and letting them know to encourage people to submit applications. Thank you.
Ethics and disciplinary, were we going to? Okay. Moving on to transportation.
Okay, we did not have a meeting in the month of February, but in the month of March, we hope to have the MTA show up with one of their high-level people, hopefully, to discuss the Metro North situation and the stations and so on and so forth. And we will discuss at that transportation meeting any other issues that have to do with transportation in Community Board 11. Thank you so much and have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Sandy's still not back, so we can go to, oh, no, don't run. Sandy, you'll be up for Health and Social Services.
Dog is even tired. Right, the dog is tired too. Right, dog, you're tired. You want to get out of here also?
Is your mic on?
We had a good meeting. We discussed a few issues. The Blondell shelter update, I thought was just that one person who was Kay Cardona asked to be on. Did she show up to the meeting?
All right, so one of the things that I was drafting, the thing that Harry was drafting for me that I didn't get it sent out yet, whoever expressed interest, if you did not get an invite directly from the city or whatever, you're not, they do their own vetting. I gave them all the names, right? I gave them the information that I was provided. And I mean, Cynthia didn't even get an invite, right? So we did get one resident that lives on Blondell that was at the meeting. So we did have that. I'll send you the information when I get a chance.
All right, not a problem. Also, we had some people come in to talk about the organizations that they belong to. One of them has a load of information, which if you listen to the tape on services that are rendered, what can be gotten, how they can be gotten. And also the intern at our office has a survey which you would like to put online to have people answer on how to service the older community. And I offered also, I told everyone that the health fair will be May 18th. We do have some presenters already. I would love if anybody has anyone they would like to have present, let Cynthia know or Jeremy or I, and we'll gladly set a table aside. It doesn't only have to be health, it could be social services, etc. That's it.
Thanks, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Moving on to old business. No? Anything? All right, new business, Juan.
Now, yes. So, quickly, we received a, application for a liquor license renewal for Pasta Pasta yesterday. The reason that their attorneys gave us for, giving us the renewal application, their liquor license is set to expire tomorrow. All right. The reason, well, it says the end of the month, and that's tomorrow. The reason they gave us for the late notice is because that they did not receive an alert or a notification from the liquor authority indicating that they had to renew their license, and they realized on the 23rd of February that their license was going to expire tomorrow. So they're asking two things of us. They're asking, A, that we waive the 30-day, that we vote to waive the 30-day waiting period. And B, they're asking that we send a letter of no objection to the liquor authority so that they can renew their license. I think most of us are familiar with Pasta Pasta located at 2023 Williamsbridge Road. Normally we ask for information from the precinct to find out if there are any issues. So I'm gonna leave that, out there if anyone knows of any issues. I'm going to make a motion that we waive, I'm gonna do a motion that has two prongs, right? A, that we waive the 30-day waiting period for Pasta Pasta, and B, that we send a letter of no objection to the liquor authority. Any second? All right, any discussion?
Seconded by Rich.
Discussion? Yeah, go.
So it expires tomorrow, and even if say we pass it, we know the Pony Express is in full service there. So what are they gonna do in the meantime?
All right, so we can't control that, right? That's sort of not our thing. If we pass it, great. If we don't, whatever. But we can't, that part would be up to their attorneys to figure out.
Veronica?
We send the letter of no objection via email, and Chris can get that out tomorrow. And he can even make a phone call to someone at the State Liquor Authority to let them know that it's been sent.
Great.
Again, it's still up to the
Right.
SLA, how they want to proceed from there, but we'll have done our part to try and help.
Be out of our control. All right.
When did they put the application into the State Liquor Authority?
I don't know if they have. So.
They have to notify, legally, they have to notify us first of their intent.
Right.
Which is what they did recently. I think yesterday was when we received it. I can check right now, but I'm pretty sure it was yesterday.
The letter I have in front of me is dated February 24th. But I think that the email went out either yesterday or today. Any other discussion? All right, great. So I'm going to close the discussion, and now we'll have a vote. Any objections to sending the letter of no objection and waiving the 30 days? Mr. Levitt, any other objections? Any abstentions?
I abstain.
Okay.
Oh.
I can't read. your name.
Dear abstained.
So I guess motion passes, right?
Yes.
Thanks.
Just one. One last item, the Bronx County Historical Society is having an event on Saturday, March 8th at 3 p.m. Voices from the Bronx Slave Market and Beyond. It's a one-person reading dramatizing Black women's struggles for dignity and better working conditions in the Bronx during the 20th century. This is an event for International Women's Day. I have signed up to attend. So I did post it on the community board's Facebook page and on our Instagram. So if you're interested, just go online, go to the website, sign up, get tickets. I think it would be really nice for us to have a show. Joanne?
Okay, great. This is something I've been discussing, I think with you, with Phyllis when she was on. Many of our schools are now, our public schools are going K through 8. It's a wonderful thing. There's one school in the district that they got a new, it's PS 97. They have a new wing, but they're not using the old wing. And I think it's a discussion, because we really need a K through 8. As a former middle school teacher, people don't want to send their kids to middle school and they wind up moving. I mean, that's the honest truth. So I don't know, that's maybe something that start thinking about, somebody to go to talk to. I know I'm not on the education committee, but maybe it's something someone can speak to the principal at 97, because they have a whole building that they're not using. And they use it for preschool, but they have plenty of room. And if we had 6, 7, and 8 there, it would be a boon for the community. That's really all I have to say. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Joan.
Okay.
I had one last thing and it just left me. So,
Preston.
yeah. So I guess
Preston.
that's what I was,
There
thank
you
you,
go.
thank you. So, yeah, so I'm sure everyone's seen the news that Preston High School is closing and it's a very, very sad news. There was a protest this morning, I believe. I don't know what the status is moving forward, you know, if it's a done deal or not, but also St. Lucy's.
St.
um,
Lucy's.
Yeah, yeah.
All Hallows.
Hallows, yeah. So, you know, I know it's a difficult time. Say that again? So Preston is also having a protest on in White Plains, in the city of White Plains.
Because that's where, that's where the nuns are.
Okay. So, if you want more information, just, we'll get you the information and, yeah. Motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Seconded by Harry. Meeting adjourned at 8:45 PM. Thank you all for your time.